Hi, this is Mike Brown, owner of Death Wish Coffee Company. Welcome to Fueled by Deathcast.
I love Jeff, but sweet and hot. Whoop, there's so much drama, coffee spot.
Death Wish Coffee presents Fueled by Deathcast, the world's strongest podcast. With your hosts, the incredible Jeff and the amazing D-Man.
Welcome, every single one of you out there watching and
only the
listening
single
to us.
ones.
Yeah.
If you're married, I don't want to hear anything from you.
Oh, well, you found it. You're here. It's Fueled by Deathcast, the show, and we're very excited, as always. It's episode 58.
We're over the hump now.
Uh-huh.
We're approaching 100 episodes.
Can't wait.
It's gonna be like tomorrow, and we're gonna be on episode 100. Not to know what to do with ourselves.
I keep getting Facebook memories of early episodes from last year.
Oh,
and
really? I don't
yeah.
get those. Well, maybe I don't post enough.
Yeah, you probably don't post enough. Like just last week, it was the anniversary of episode 5 when we had Brock Powell on.
Oh, cool.
And it was just it's fun to go down that memory lane because it seems like just yesterday we started the show and
yeah,
episode 58.
I just can't get over the table that we were on to
I
begin
know.
with. That thing was held together by hot glue and wishes.
Yeah, and we're gonna hopefully even get a better table this season.
Could it be?
Maybe.
I hope so.
We'll see. As always, I am the incredible Jeff.
And I am the amazing D-Man.
You can follow us on social media. It's very easy. I'm at Jeff Wish Coffee.
And I am at Death Wish Dustin.
It's that easy. Right at the top of the show, you guys know the drill. We do these shows not only to entertain you, but we want to give away a mug. And we're doing it this week. It's the hammer. It's here. If you guys missed it, you are not paying attention.
I feel like when you put it down, you have to put it down like a man.
Saturday, we released it, and so we're really excited about it. This is our all-year-round 2018 Death Wish Coffee mug. It's called the Hammer. It's a brand new design from Deneen Pottery. We're really excited about it. And we're giving one away. Just share this feed, share it in the comments, and we'll pick one lucky winner at the end of this show to win this mug. There it is. Kiss for good luck. Straight with dust and germs. We'll sign the bottom of it. We'll send it right out to you. Super easy.
Don't worry, I have all the STDs.
Yes.
I have all of them. Mixed into one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I remember
gonorrhea, syphilitis.
Yeah, it was like collecting comic books, like you were missing a couple, key issues, and like you finally got the whole set.
One trip out of the country. That's all I needed.
Oh,
man.
Let's start the show by thanking our good friend Brock Powell.
BrockFox.com.
He is the voice behind all the awesome voices on this show and 1,000 other things out there in the world, including the voice of the Kool-Aid Man. He also has his own podcast called Unpop Podcast. They are really funny and do a lot of cool stuff out there, so check those guys out. And we got to start the show by thanking our friends at Black Magic Design. They are the company that makes all the technology that makes this show look as good as it does for two schmucks like Dustin and myself.
Hey there. Don't be using Jewish slurs
you didn't
at
like
me.
my Yiddish there?
Yeah.
All right. I'll leave the Yiddish out of it. I'm
All
sorry.
right. All right. No Yiddish insults for the rest of Fueled by Deathcast.
Done.
You schmuck.
Secret code unlocked. Discount of death.
Oh, you know how it works this week. If you type in the discount code DRUMS, that's DRUM, and also S at the end there, you will get 20% off of any of our awesome shirts available on our merchandising store at deathwishcoffee.com. You just got to put in that little discount code, and this will run until Wednesday, January 24th. That's 20% off. That's awesome.
That's the Death Wish.
Did you know I was the model for the Valhalla Java shirt?
I did.
That's my body underneath that blank shirt.
Yep, I remember that photo being taken. But yes, that's the straight Death Wish shirt, the Death Wish V-neck woman shirt, and then also the Valhalla Java shirt. And the reason why the secret code this week is drums is because we got to talk to a really cool drummer. He's the drummer of a band called Red Sun Rising. His name is Pat Gerasia, and he actually happened to be local. He lives just outside of Albany, and lived. You're right. Yeah. Now the entire world is his home because he seems to be on tour all the time.
He's a gypsy now. Good luck.
But we had a ton of fun talking to Pat this week, just about, life in general, playing the drums. We became best friends on air.
Yeah, that happened. That actually happened.
Yeah.
When you listen to this interview, you will notice there is a clicking moment. Might have been around Final Fantasy III
Yeah.
and Stephen King's Insomnia that we literally became best friends with this guy. He is a stand-up dude and a very talented drummer.
Yeah.
We talked everywhere from his drumming style and even about his new music video that just came out.
Which is crazy. So the band is just about to drop their brand new album this year, which is going to be incredible because their last one did insanely good for them, and we talk about that on the show. But the first single off that record they happened to drop last week, and I gotta say I love the name.
I love the song too.
Right, the name is Death Wish. No, they did not name it after our awesome coffee, although we'd like to say that they did.
Let's just say it.
Yes, we'd like our royalties now, please.
That music video is named after our company.
Yes, no, it's really cool. It's a good song. It's a good video. You can check it out on all those video platforms. I'll even put a link up here for it. But yeah, we had such a good time talking to Pat. And here's a little sneak peek.
The Fueled by Death guest.
Styles, can you give me one more? Sounds pretty good, actually.
Especially with drumming with this band, that you have found the way that you personally and your skill set kind of fit in to the music. And I wanted you to speak a little bit about that because I thought that was interesting, especially with Red Sun Rising, because it is such an eclectic sound. Did you find by joining this band that it completely changed your way of playing?
I wouldn't say it changed my way of playing. It's just if you married all my favorite bands into one, that's what my band sounds like right now, and that's the coolest thing because
awesome.
We all have the same core, like what I said earlier. We all grew up with the grunge movement. We all have a classic rock background. We all listen to soul music, and we listen to such a broad range of music that we're all on the same page 90% of the time. But yeah, I feel like I'm just playing for all my favorite bands melted into one, and it's just I just kind of know what to do. I know how to mesh my drum part with that guitar part, and we're all on the same page.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome.
it's very exciting.
Science!
All right, so science this week, D-Man. Actually, I've got two separate science topics this week, but they both kind of work together, sort of.
Okay.
They're both in space.
Okay,
let's
say
say that.
You know what's funny? I went to put on my NASA shirt today.
Well, it would have been on point.
Unfortunately, it does not fit me any longer.
Aw, you got to get a new one.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's a large, but it's meant for a shorter, fatter version of me, and
It's the plight of ordering clothes offline.
it's horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
It's so sad. I see so many cool shirts. Anyways, let's
Yeah.
let's get back on the science.
We'll get into that
topic.
later. But anyway, so first up, a topic near and dear to our hearts on this show. We've actually talked about this a lot. The JUNO mission. Now, if you haven't heard us talk about this or don't know what I'm talking about, the JUNO mission is a spacecraft probe that we sent to orbit Jupiter.
Wait, I got a joke. Do you know what we're talking about?
Did you know what you're doing?
Sorry.
And we sent this up in August of 2011, and it reached the orbit of Jupiter in July 4th, 2016. And it's been orbiting that planet ever since. Every 53 days, the probe gets close enough to do a full flyby. So it takes all of its instruments and points them all at the planet and gets as much data as possible and then sends it back to us. And that's every 53 days.
Wow.
So the 10th time that happened was just recently on December 16th. Sent back all the data, and everybody has processed it, and now we got it. And I've got some of those photos for you right now, which I thought was really, really cool because we have never been this close to this planet before.
Is the color filled in?
Yes.
Is that how that works?
Yeah. It's
So they're
color-
black and white photos. They know what the clouds are made of. So
Correct.
therefore, and at certain frequencies, so therefore they actually know what color it is. And they
Correct.
add the colors to the photos afterwards.
Right, and it's so you can, even though in a grayscale photo, we can take the data and understand the hue that is being given off by these different grays.
Right.
And that's why, obviously, it might not be this bright or vibrant. Maybe it is. Maybe it's more.
Yeah.
Someday, maybe we'll see it with our own, human eyes, actually, humans orbiting Jupiter, which would be crazy.
That'd be creepy.
But yeah, this is incredible. At 2,200 miles above the giant planet, and with some of these images that are just breathtaking to see because it's basically a gas giant, so it's all different storm systems that are enveloped on this thing. And it boggles my mind every time we get new data from the JUNO mission. And like I've said also on this show, which is very, very interesting, is that the JUNO mission is made for a purpose. And that purpose is not only to get as much information about Jupiter as it orbits, but when its orbit is over and its mission is over, we built this thing to withstand, hopefully, whatever's inside Jupiter, and we're going to send it straight to the center of Jupiter and have it crash into what's ever in there. So we're going to definitively know what's underneath this cloud system.
It's so weird. I mean, just looking at this picture, you know how when you get a little bit of gasoline in water and it makes all those like weird, cool, beautiful rainbow designs?
Yeah.
It looks like that.
Yeah.
But like more intense. And I can't imagine what this is like seeing this in person.
Well, what's really neat is a civilian scientist, took a lot of these photos, color corrected them, and then stitched them together such as the way that the flyby would have happened, and made a nice little short video out of it. And I'll play it for you guys right now. So that's really neat.
Yeah. That's incredible. So we actually just got a simulation of what it's like to fly by Jupiter, which before watching this video, we literally had no idea.
Right. And so every 53 days, JUNO gets closer to Jupiter, and we get to see more, we get to experience more. And it's not just photos that we're getting back. We're getting back a ton of data from its various instruments on the spacecraft. And we're just going to learn so much more about the biggest planet in our solar system, which is just incredible.
I can't wait until we fly into it. I really think it's going to be like nothing. It's going to be liquid and gas, and it's going to be creepy.
It's going to be creepy.
There's going to be no landmass.
Yeah.
It's just going to be like, oh, planets aren't exactly what we thought they were going to be. And this one is just a ball of liquid and gas swinging around. I don't know. That's my prediction.
It's going to be absolutely crazy. But this is not the only thing we got from space recently. And that's kind of where the second part of this science segment happens this week. We got new data about the mysterious fast radio bursts from deep space. And I don't know if we've ever actually talked about this on the show before, but as recently as just last year, we've been getting a lot more data about I'll refer to as an FRB, a fast radio burst. Now, we get radio signals from deep space. They exist. Neutron stars give off kind of a radio emission. Black holes give off kind of a radio emission. So we've gotten that before. That's not surprising. What's surprising is this one, which is called FRB 121102, very scientific, is the only one known to repeat over 200 times now. It's repeated from a singular location in space.
Whoa.
Now, when this was first reported, obviously everybody was like, aliens! Aliens! Me too. I was like, yay!
Obviously, that's where everybody's. It's a sexy thought.
I mean, the movie Contact. It's like
That looks like the movie Contact.
Right. That's what it like. That's the idea. That's the sexy thought of it. Obviously, that's more than likely not the case. But what's interesting about this is that it seems to originate from a dwarf galaxy 3 billion light years away. And the vast distance suggests that a massive amount of energy is in each burst. The amount of energy. What are you looking at?
Oh, like there was a little person in that window. I thought they were hiding something in there.
The amount of energy in the bursts from that we're getting from this radio emission is equal to the amount of energy that the sun produces in a day. That amount of energy is being expended in a millisecond.
What?
That's how we're getting this burst. So it's got to be.
And we've gotten nothing like it before?
Not repeating like this.
Weird.
So it has to be, what scientists are theorizing is it has to be a gigantic star.
Yeah.
That maybe is turning into a black hole. Like maybe it was like a supernova that we're getting, or something along that route. But like I said, 3 billion light years away, that's actually a picture of that's a pinpoint of where it is in the world, or in the universe. Digging deeper into the data that they've received, the astronomers are now figuring out that the signal is surrounded by a dense magnetic field, which makes the radio signal have a polarized property. And basically what that does is it twists the signal, and that's how we're seeing it. It's because the signal is actually twisted a little. There must be this great magnetic field that's encased in, which again isn't necessarily crazy in the depths of deep space, but it is interesting that we're getting that information just from a single radio emission.
Yeah.
The nearly 100% polarization of the radio burst is unusual and has only been seen in radio emissions from the extreme magnetic environments around massive black holes, such as those at the center of galaxies. And that's a direct quote from Dr. Jason Hessels from the Netherlands Institute of Radio Astronomy. The short bursts, which range from 30 microseconds to 9 milliseconds in duration, indicate that the source could be as small as 6 miles across. So it could be this gigantic thing, or it could be that small. It could just be 6 miles, which is still huge.
And it's blasting off as much energy as the sun.
This radio burst is expending that much energy. Yeah.
Wow.
That's
intense. What is going on? Oh, is it the Death Star?
Right. Is it the Death Star? I don't know.
Wait, how big was the Death Star?
Huge. Way bigger.
Than 6 miles?
Yeah. Yeah, way bigger.
Whoa.
I should know that, though, shouldn't I? Exactly how big the Death Star is. I'm very sorry that I don't know that. I do have a cool video, though, of some of the astronomers talking about this and give you a little bit more insight on what they've actually discovered.
The repeating fast radio burst source 121102 is a mysterious cosmic radio burst source which we've been able to localize to a dwarf galaxy at about 3 billion light years from Earth. We think that the source that's producing the radio burst is a neutron star, but we haven't been able to figure out really what kind of environment it's in. What we've recently discovered is that the bursts themselves have a high polarization fraction. This means that the electric field associated with the radio waves has a preferred direction. And what we've seen is that that direction is extremely rotated as a function of radio frequency. This tells us that the source of the burst is located in a very extreme, highly ionized, high magnetic field environment. And one of the options is that this neutron star producing the burst is in the vicinity of a very massive black hole, Or one of the other hypotheses that we have is that the neutron star is in a very powerful nebula associated with the source.
In order to observe these radio bursts, we have to set our telescopes up in a similar way that we have it set up here, where we're looking at frequency and time. For the telescope, that's radio frequencies and radio waves. But for this, we have sound waves. So as you can see, short bursts, like the radio burst, take up a lot of frequency, and they occur at one point in time. Every time we observe the FRB at different frequencies, we found more and more surprises. Therefore, at the Arecibo telescope, we developed systems so we could observe at higher frequencies.
These higher frequency observations permitted us to discover a new property of the burst, which is a twist in the radiation from the source, which occurs when the radio waves cross the area magnetic field.
So we think there are two possible astrophysical pictures that fit the evidence. One is we may have a neutron star near a massive black hole. The other possibility is a very young neutron star, perhaps a magnetar, sitting inside an energetic supernova remnant. The next steps in our analysis will be focused on trying to understand if there's a pattern to the arrival times of the bursts. For example, is there a periodicity that we can find within the arrival times of the bursts, which would suggest the rotation period of a neutron star.
Yeah, like I feel like what's interesting about this is we can take something as simple as a radio wave, but we can tune our instruments in specific ways to get more data from just something specific like that. So we're not even scratching the surface on what we can actually, discertain from this. Like at the end there, she was saying, like we might be able to figure out when the bursts are actually going to, appear, and that could tell us the rotation of the star. That could tell us the size of the star. It could maybe even tell us the size of the nebula or the galaxy that this star is even in.
I imagine it's discoveries like these that fund more technologies so we can dig deeper into these discoveries.
Definitely.
And in the next, 1 or 2 years, we'll have better technology to actually figure out what's going on here.
I think so. And I think, like, the more we kind of tweak the instrumentation that we have, I think that just leads to new technology. They're looking at specific instances in a specific radio wave by, basically like turning up the treble or the bass on like something, you know what I mean? And it's like, those are just the two faders they're working with right now. If you really start to bring it all out, like the amount of data we could get from a telescope that is specifically designed to look at something like this, could be crazy amount of data that we can't even fathom yet because we haven't built something to really look for it. Like we're using radio telescopes right now that obviously are meant to look for this, but not something 3 billion light years away.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And also with this amount of stuff. And that's why I thought that was interesting. This week we had 2 different instances where we got really interesting data and really interesting discoveries from space.
So we're getting really close to blasting into Jupiter, figuring out what the hell it's made out of, and we're getting signals from 3 billion light years away from a thing that we have no idea. We're guessing it's a neutron star blasting off energy waves next to a supermassive black hole.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool. I love science.
What fuels you?
Right, so this week we got to sit down with drummer Pat Gerasia from Red Sun Rising and had a great conversation with him. And he brought up something that a lot of people actually have brought up when we asked them what fuels them before, or even just on their career path. And it's something that I kind of wanted to debate with you, D-Man, because it's a scary prospect. Pat talked about how he'd never had a backup plan.
Yeah.
When he was a kid, he got into music, loved to drum. So he was like, you know what, I'm going to join a band. Then he moved. He moved down south, down in the Carolinas. Joined a band down there, and that band, like a lot of bands, fizzled out. And instead of being like, you know what, I still want to be a musician, but I have to make rent, and I'm going to do job A while job B is my good thing, He's like, no, like no backup plan. Move to LA to become a session drummer, a guy who goes into a studio and lays down drum tracks for anybody.
I mean, to pull off something like this, you really have to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
You really have to believe in the product that you produce, whether it be music or art or whatever it may be, and actually believe in yourself enough to fully place all bets on yourself. A lot of people say, don't give up your day job.
Right.
Pat Gerasia says otherwise.
Yeah,
because,
this is my day job.
Yeah.
Period. Whether it makes me money or not.
Which I think is very respectable. And I mean, it's something that, personally, I grappled with a lot as a musician.
Yeah.
And had a lot of moments where it's like, I got to go all in. And a few moments where I thought I was going all in. But when I take a closer look at it, it doesn't really seem that way. I didn't go all in like Pat went all in.
Yeah.
And
I don't know if I could.
Yeah. It's
like
tough.
that. It's scary to me in that respect. Like, I mean, a 20-year-old kid, Pat moves out to LA to be a session drummer and not knowing if it's going to work or not. And it did for a little bit. And then he ended up meeting up with some of the crew that was from bands that he had been playing in.
Yep.
Long story short, listen to the episode tomorrow, actually, but long story short is how he ended up becoming the drummer of Red Sun Rising. And now he's touring the world. Their first album had 2 #1 mainstream rock hits on the Billboard charts. I mean, it's that story that it's like he went all in and it worked.
Yeah.
But so many people it doesn't work for, and that's what I think that's the rolling the dice. That's the don't have that backup plan, but I don't know if I could do that. Personally speaking, I didn't do that. I always wanted to do exactly what you're seeing me do right now. I always wanted to not only have like a podcast, but I always wanted to kind of have a show. I wanted to be in front of a camera. I wanted to talk to interesting people, have conversations, let me travel, and meet, have new experiences, meet people, the whole nine, which I get to do now. But all of the work I put in to get here, I did as an added bonus on the work that I was putting in just to put food on my table and a roof over my head. I never went all in and was like, this is what I'm going to go for. Maybe I should have. Maybe I would have gotten here before 36 years old.
I mean, my mind as a musician, the one thing that I left out of my going all in is relocation.
Right.
Because, I mean, let's get down to it. You're not going to really find a lot of success being a musician in a small town.
Right.
And I just wasn't fully ready to commit to that. And there was a couple of times where I was pretty much planning to, and then, things kept on bringing me back home. And the last round, I was brought back home, and I started working for Death Wish, and it was like, oh, the things that I wanted music to bring me was traveling,
right,
meeting awesome people,
right,
being able to express my personality on a stage.
Yep.
And I'm so grateful that I have a job that does all that, and I love my job.
Yeah.
And I love being an important role of a fun company. But I feel like that's the one thing that I was like just waiting to do was to relocate.
Relocation's a big thing. I mean, speaking on the music angle, that's why you hear a lot of people who want to make it big, they move to LA or they move to New York City.
Right.
Because, I mean, those are the biggest stages in the world. But that's the scariest thing. We have friends who live in and around New York City who are musicians. And, just to get your head at the water line, not even above water, is so hard. You have to put so much work into it, which I'm not saying is the wrong move, but
you better be ready to be believing in yourself.
Yeah. Like, I think you hit it right. Like, if you're going to have no backup plan, you better 1,000% believe in yourself, even when you fail.
You got to have steel determination. You better be ready to have 1,000 people telling you you're doing it wrong, and you're so sure of yourself that you can easily just bounce that off and just be like, no, I believe in myself, and what you say is not valid, and I'm just going to be chomping at the bit until I find success.
And what's, another profession that you constantly hear about with people, who are basically all in, and even not, because a lot of times they'll have another job to pay the bills, is a stand-up comedian.
I was about to say acting.
Acting too, for sure. But I mean, a stand-up comedian, I look at it as like someone. There are comedians out there who have made it big now, and you know their names. They're on, got their Netflix specials. But go and look them up. They probably have been in the clubs for the last decade.
Yep,
working every night to a room of people who are basically going, boo. Not laughing. They're getting early spots or way late, but doing their sets at 2 a.m, whatever. And it's like you have to be so confident to go out there. And but you brought it up. Acting's the other one. We know people out in LA who are breaking into that business, and it's like you're constantly going on auditions, which 99% of the time you're not even getting a callback. Yet you are like, I want to do this for my life, so you have to keep going out.
You better be ready for rejection. And rejection is not the end.
Yeah.
But you keep on tranching on, and I'm not telling you to move away.
Right.
But I am. If you wanna succeed in a business that takes a city surrounding in order to get that done, or maybe other people in that area who also believe in the thing that you're going for, you might need to relocate.
It's true. I think I never actually thought about it in that sense. But I think that's a big piece of the puzzle. Unless even, what I was going to say, unless you're in the area where what you're pursuing is there.
Yeah.
But even then, maybe relocation is, because you're already in it, and maybe relocation is that fire that helps people succeed.
I mean, you pull out your backup plan when you move away from your friends and your family. That's a for sure thing, and that's why it's so scary to do that.
Because I was gonna use the example of like if I wanted to be a coder, like someone who works in Silicon Valley, let's say, Obviously, if you live in Silicon Valley, you wouldn't want to move away from there. But then I started thinking, nobody lives in Silicon Valley. Everybody moves there to work there.
Yeah.
It's very rare that someone's like from Silicon Valley. So,
born and raised there.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm a farmer.
Exactly. So I think actually relocation has a lot to do with it, but confidence. And I pride myself on. I took a turning point in my life where, because for a very long time I was very, very, very unconfident. I mean, not to get into it, but, as a young kid, I had bullies and I got beat up and didn't have a lot of friends, in school, and hated school. And so, that can not give you a lot of confidence as a child, but as an adult and as I started gaining more experience and stuff like that, I started getting more confidence. I feel like I have a lot of confidence. I still don't think I'm confident enough to go
I think,
all in.
If you had confidence before that, it probably wasn't real confidence. When you learn to succeed, even though you're getting bullied and pushed around and told what to do, when you learn to succeed through those obstacles, you become a Steel Panther.
Yeah. Shout out to Steel Panther, right?
I don't know why it keeps on coming up today, but it felt appropriate.
It's okay. They're a band.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what you guys think, but that's a look and leap kind of situation. Like I'm gonna go all in on something. This is what I want to pursue. So, and more often than not, the people who succeed in life are the ones who did that.
Yeah.
They're the ones who were like, I'm going to be the next rock star, the next Tom Cruise, or the next, Richard Pryor. I'm going to revolutionize that. And they didn't do it on the weekends when they had free time
in their hometown.
Yeah, in their hometown. They went out and went all in for it. So it's a scary, scary thing.
Yeah, it is. Even just sitting here talking about it and thinking about it, and woo.
It's you're not going to get as far if you aren't as confident as you can be in yourself and put as much of it as you can into it. If you can't go all in, then that doesn't mean you have to give up your dreams. That's another thing. If you want to have a backup plan, there's nothing wrong with that. You just have to work extra harder at the thing you want to do for the rest of your life.
I mean, somebody put it to me like this one day where it was like, you work a full-time job, right? 40 hours a week? And I'm like, yeah. Well, what if you took that 40 hours a week and put it towards playing music, producing music, and working with your bandmates? It'd be like, oh, yeah, then no duh, you probably find success at that point. Putting in 40 hours a week to that, then why are you putting in 40 hours a week to your low-paying whatever job that you don't even care if the company succeeds or not?
Right.
You know, and then it was like a real like, oh, am I doing the right thing? Probably not. But, you know, thankfully, you know, life has a weird way of working out.
A lot of times.
And at least it's, you know, for us, it's certainly working out, and we're both forever grateful, even though we didn't fulfill that dream of becoming a rock star yet. Yet. Life's not over yet. I'm going to be 80 on the rock and roll
stage. The jazz
bassist.
The 80-year-old jazz bassist. You're going to revolutionize jazz. It's going to be amazing.
But yeah, that's that.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was an interesting topic to bring up because it is something that...
It's cool to hear a success story to somebody who was like, yeah, I fucking went all in.
Yeah. And he's still young. He's still doing it. You know, I mean, like, second album of the band is coming out, you know, right now, and sky's the limit for them. They haven't he was saying, and you'll see on the episode, he was saying, like, they haven't even hit the point yet where they're doing headlining tours.
Right.
You know, and that's the next step for any band.
And once again, they're going all in on themselves.
Yeah.
Being like, we believe in this band. We believe we can do a headlining tour. It'll be a little slow at first, but we believe in the music, and we know the fans will pick up over time.
Yeah.
And in the end, it'll pay off. We're going all in on ourselves.
Yeah.
Community shout out.
Okay, so I don't have a full name, so I don't know if I should scream it, but community shout out this week is to Instagram user Spike's Design World, whose name is Spike, aka Travis. Travis! There it is. There he is. Digging the coffee, posting about Deathwish. So, you know, obviously that's why I saw you crop up. In fact, I think I got a photo of your setup there with some good caffeinated product there, which is nice. But what's interesting is a lot of times on the community shout out, we will shout out people who are, you know, lifting heavy things or, you know, putting out fires, you know, firefighters or whatever, you know, because obviously those are the type of people that we want to fuel as well. We want to caffeinate the world. And those are the types that, you know, kind of bubble to the surface immediately. But actually, an industry that we love caffeinating is the tech industry. Because these guys, like Spike or Travis, depending on how you like to be referred to, you are the type of person who is, you know, putting in late nights to write the code for the cool gadgets that I get to go home and play with when I get out of work, you know?
Yeah.
Like we live in such a technological age now. I personally don't think about it as much as I should of the countless amount of people who are behind all of the everyday things that I use, even just the apps on your phone. You know what I mean? Like, there's somebody out there, you know, making those algorithms and writing those codes.
Thank God, because I'm not doing it.
Yeah, me too. I have no idea what it is about that. So we love caffeinating people like that. And this week, we're shouting out you, Spike, you, Travis, Spike's Design World. Community shout out.
Oh, welcome back to the show.
So we got some happy birthdays this week from Fueled by Deathcash and Deathwish Coffee. Thursday, January 18th, singer...
Tell me you have a bagpipe picture.
Jonathan Davis. You wait, maybe I do. Jonathan Davis from the band Korn is going to be 47 years old. Korn, I got to say, that first record when I was a kid was like... It just blew my mind, you know, because it was that new. They were at the cusp of that new sound at the time, which is now everybody does. But
and nobody had that sound at the time at all. And they still have gotta hand it to them. They have a sound that no other band has achieved. Weird reasons.
I don't think there's bagpipes in this picture. If you don't know, Jonathan does play bagpipes on stage as well as sing with the band. But this is a picture of them from the 90s, as late 90s as you possibly can get. Yeah, they love their Adidas and their all the stuff. They're really young. That was right from the first record.
What a bunch of freaks on leashes, huh?
I got it. On Friday, January 19th, a very happy birthday to one of my favorite actresses, Katie Sagal.
Oh, nice.
She's going to be 64. She is on one of your favorite shows, Sons of Anarchy. She's in a ton of stuff. The voice of Leela from Futurama.
I just had a flashback. Do you remember the the Nashville Walker Stalker Con, when we moderated the Sons of Anarchy panel, we started taking questions from the crowd. And one of the questions was to Ron Perlman.
Yeah.
How do you stop yourself from getting a boner when you lay next to Katie Seagal?
Yeah, and he said I did it. He said he didn't. Classic Ron Perlman.
Yeah, I love that guy.
One of my favorite roles, though, of Katie Seagal, forever and ever, is Peg Bundy.
Yeah.
From Married with Children. That
She
show.
looks the same. It's
She does.
crazy.
She does. Although,
It's
I mean,
crazy.
obviously the wig, and everything, but so good. Also, just as a little aside, just for my own thing, January 19th is also Edgar Allan Poe's birthday.
Oh, nice.
So, my favorite writer, so happy birthday
When's
to
his
him.
death day?
Oh, man.
We used to know that.
Brain fart, yeah. I don't know. Put it in the comments if you guys know. I'm having a brain fart on it. I'm looking at all these other dates. Saturday, January 20th, the amazing Buzz Aldrin is going to be 88 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, this guy, I mean, not only has he revolutionized, space exploration, but just the amount of stuff he's done since being on the moon. And there is a picture of him actually on the moon right there. But just the amount of stuff he's done as, in the world and for science is incredible. What an amazing, amazing dude. If you've ever, there's some great documentaries about Buzz Aldrin. If you don't want to know more about that, I mean, look him up because he's so fascinating. On Monday, January 22nd, Linda Blair is going to be 59 years old, and she's been in a ton of stuff too. You're looking a little quizzical. I'll make it a little bit better for you. Reagan. That's Linda Blair, yeah. The Incredible Exorcist. And, man, the mysteries that surround shooting that film, man, the amount of stuff that happened. People died. There was a curse of the movie.
That's so weird.
So weird. So weird.
One of my favorite quotes is, the hardest thing about writing nonfiction is making it believable.
Yeah.
I love that. It's Mark Twain.
Yeah.
But that's one of those situations on the set of that movie where when you read about it, it's like, this is so dramatic that it doesn't even seem like you would make a story like this up because it's so over the top.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty intense.
It's pretty nuts. Finally, Wednesday, January 24th, Kristen Schaal is going to be 40 years old, star of so many fun comedies. In fact, one of my wife's favorite show is Last Man on Earth, and she's one of the main characters on that. But one of my favorite shows, and hopefully one of yours out there too, is Bob's Burgers, and she plays the youngest daughter on that, and she's just adorable. She's one of those comedians that anytime she shows up in a scene, it's instantly more funny and it's instantly more adorable because she's one of those people. So happy birthday to all of those people this week.
I smell a roast.
Well, this one's extra stupid, Jeff.
Yeah, extra stupid.
Let me tell you, if you're eating laundry detergent and dying from it, you probably deserve it. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I just said that, but come on, people.
Yeah.
How dumb. I don't care if you're a kid. It's dumb. Think about what you're doing. Just right before you do something, think about it.
Yeah.
Just for a second.
Yeah.
Is this dumb? Yes. Don't do it.
So
Don't eat laundry detergent. Jeff!
I won't. I had to bring it up because it's been making the news cycle.
But it does look like candy, doesn't
It does. And it's exactly the type of thing that we like to talk about on the roast. And it just so happens that it is national news now. In just this January alone, it's this new trend between kids 13 and 19 years old to basically film themselves, which is what they're called the Tide Pod Challenge, which sucks because Tide, the makers of this, actually a couple years ago had their own Tide Pod Challenge, but it was to have people make videos of stained clothing and then use a Tide Pod, and they would challenge you like, our product will clean your clothes. That was their Tide Pod Challenge. Now this new generation of children have taken that and just perversed it.
You know, it's funny. They did a lot of things to help curb this situation because, Jesus, you make something shiny and colorful and people stick it in their mouths. So they changed the packaging.
Yes.
They did a lot of things to make it idiot proof. But you know, one of my favorite sayings, Jeff, is that you make something idiot proof and we'll make a better idiot. And that's what's happening right here.
It's true. This has been an internet thing since as far back as 2011 on YouTube. But now it's gaining this whole meme culture popularity. The U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission actually issued a warning in 2013 because of this exact photo. They are brightly colored pods. Young kids, not 13 to 19-year-olds, but like, your toddlers, your babies, are not going to be able to discern that pod from like that Swedish fish. They look the same.
Yeah,
they
it's
look
true.
like candy. So it's been out there like that. Even the humor website Funny or Die did a video in 2015 that was basically like two guys who started eating these things because it was if you don't know Funny or Die, they do videos that look like they're real movie trailers or real real scenarios, but it's not. And so they're eating them, but the whole joke was don't do this because it's dumb. And it gained a little bit of ground. But now it's everywhere, and I actually have a really fun one. Actually, this goes back to last week's roast. Tide Pod Oreos. It's
probably the best flavor yet.
New and improved. But for real though, why does this keep happening? Why are there these?
See, they don't use those containers anymore.
Right. That's why I put this up. This was the old school one, where it really looks like just a bowl of candy, And are we? The first question that a lot of the news channels are talking about are like, we adding to it because we're talking about it? Because, the kids are doing it on YouTube and posting the videos of them, which are turning into viral, and then news channels are picking it up and talking about it, so are we adding to the detriment of it? And I don't think so. I think people need to understand that this is wrong. You should stop doing it. And if you see people doing it, you should tell them to stop doing it.
I got a question for you, Jeff.
What's that?
Do you think Tide should be somewhat responsible and maybe not make their product colorful like candy?
I mean, no, because when it really comes down to it, it was never the colors outside of working with the product, because Tide, that's the color of Tide is the blue and orange.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of being on brand, the colors were never to entice you like, oh, doesn't this look pleasing? It's really about the chemicals that they're using, and the pod itself, I'm sure, is scientifically proven that in this form, the way that it looks and the way that, the colorful liquid, the detergents are on top and then the other stuff's on the bottom, the way that all works is the best way to clean your clothes or your dishes or whatever you're using, the specific type of
So you don't
pod
think
for.
it should just be all white liquid in a pouch? If let's say they're adding colors to it to make it look like this.
I don't know enough about it. What if they're not adding colors to it?
I'm just saying, in a hypothetical world,
Okay.
they're adding colors to this to make it look like this.
Right.
Do you think they should be responsible and stop using those colors?
Maybe. In just this year, since the beginning of 2018, there have been 40 reported exposures to liquid laundry detergent pods by 13 to 19-year-olds. That figure, while seems low, represents 20% of the total number of incidences of the same thing last year and for an entire year. And this statistic that I'm taking is only from the first 11 days of January.
That's insane. That's
so
insane.
I'm going to do this right now. And this is, we're roasting this. We're telling you that these kids are dumb, and I'm showing you some video as we're talking as well, of what we're talking about. And on the basic of it, on what we do on the roast, this is ridiculously stupid. Stop doing it. You're an idiot if you do it, and we're making fun of you for it. But what I'm going to put up right now is this number. It's 1-800-222-1222. That is the number to the National Poison Hotline. Also, it's very easy this day and age. Everybody has a smartphone. You can literally text poison to 797979, and that number will then be saved in your phone. It's a real thing, and it sucks. Like, kids, as dumb as they are, shouldn't be harming themselves for the rest of their life or dying because of an internet trend. Off pod, Dustin, you brought up, you were like, is this like a stupid trend like the ice bucket challenge? And if you guys don't remember that swept the nation of people pouring buckets of ice on them, But But the thing about that was, first of all, that's not harmful, although some people were doing it in the Arctic, which was crazy.
It's still good for you.
Yeah. But the other thing about that was raising awareness for ACLS, and it was so not only was the videos going viral, but it was raising awareness and money for.
So
a good
wait,
cause.
are you saying that eating Tide Pods should raise awareness in some charitable fashion?
Yeah, for I don't know, for child coffins.
How about
right? Like
I want to raise awareness about poisoning by poisoning myself.
I know that when you hit a certain age, you get a disconnect to the generation after you. I understand that, but I don't think that's where we're at with this. I don't know if this is because we live in a 24-hour news cycle and we live in a world where YouTube is so accessible and even just a kid on his computer can go viral and become an internet star, and maybe that's why silly stuff like that is happening.
Do you think we'll see Tide discontinue this product eventually?
I don't know. They did tweet just, I believe, a day or two ago, a simple tweet from Tide that said, "Please stop," period.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's just like, I mean, has this company, how do you address this? Like, obviously, you're right. On paper, it would be like, okay, we need to change our product. But as someone who changes the product of Death Wish, the way our bags look, the way our boxes look, just the arduous process that is.
Well, plus if they were like, oh, we have to recall everything and discontinue, that would be tens of millions of dollars in raw materials alone, let alone the media nightmare that they would have to deal with, which they're already dealing with already.
Because this industry, the pod-based detergent industry, which you see, like I said, not only in laundry detergent, but also in your dishwashing detergent. I use them in my dishwasher, Cascade ones. But that type of pod industry is almost probably eclipsed just buying a bottle of detergent anymore. I can still buy a bottle of detergent and pour it into my dishwasher. Same thing with pouring detergent into my laundry, but I mean, like, more often than not, people buy these because they're easy. They're way easier,
Do you think somebody with a small kid who can't read and is a little bit too adventurous should abstain from buying these?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, parents, keep this away from your kids. Put it in a high cabinet. Just I have to say, it does look like candy, and I remember doing some dumb things as an infant.
Me too, but I mean, these aren't infants. These are 13 and 19-year-olds.
Yeah, that's just a whole next level of dumb, and you have no excuse.
I think it's a next level of idiocy, and it really.
Man, maybe we're just thinning the herd.
That is a thought. That's a terrible thought, but it is a thought.
Sorry, I'm a little bit too.
Well, you know what?
Cynical
I just had to bring it up because it's one of those things that kind of comes across in the viral marketplace of pop culture that. I mean, I saw the headlines hit like last week, and I was like, "That's not a thing," that's not real.
Yeah,
and
I know.
You start
to
look into it, and you're like, "Oh my god!" And so, like I said, some of the video I probably was just showing you guys, like, it's just like I cannot believe that this is happening. So just stop it. Stop it.
Please
stop it. None of you guys are doing it. We know.
D-Man's Death Wish Update. Brought to you by Death Wish Coffee.
Alrighty, D-Man. It's another week. It's another update. What do we got?
Well, this week we're releasing the Death Wish detergent pods that you can eat.
That is not true.
Sorry.
It's not true.
Sorry. It's not funny.
Although, a little black and red with a skull and crossbones right on it. It's a good... No, it's not a terrible idea. We're not doing it. We're not doing
Anyways, hey, guys, it's coming up. Golden Ticket is right around the corner.
Right around the corner. We've been talking about it. We showed you the mugs.
Yeah. So make sure you're part of the newsletter.
Yep.
Make sure you're listening to the D-Man Death Wish update.
Yep.
Make sure for the mugs, you want to
text mugs to 484848, but that won't be for Golden Ticket.
Yeah, it won't be for Golden Ticket.
Golden Ticket's different. If you're new to the process, let me run it down for you real quick. When we release a mug now, what we do is a couple weeks before we release that mug, we do a Golden Ticket day. So that means every single order that happens on that day will have the chance to have included in their order the golden ticket of that mug. And what that means now, before it used to just be you'd get the mug before it was released. Now it is that mug, but it's a completely variant color scheme.
And let me give you a few updates on this golden ticket giveaway specifically.
Ooh.
First of all, it's going to be a set.
Yes.
And it will be the same glaze, so it'll be 2 mugs with the golden ticket glaze.
Yes.
All right? There will be 15 sets given away for that day.
Awesome.
You won't know you've won it until you get your package.
Yeah.
So it will not be in your order confirmation if you won it or not. You will only know when you get the package, open up the box, and see 2 mugs that were not there before.
Well, if you go and order like a pound of coffee or like a couple stickers or something, and you get a big box, it's probably safe to say you won the golden ticket.
And another thing is we're doing something new on the golden ticket day. Everybody who makes a purchase will get a free patch with the Valentine's Day medallion design.
Awesome.
Yeah, which was designed by Thomas Dragonetti.
Exactly. We love doing patches, especially now that we got our really cool denim jacket, which is the perfect place to put all of these awesome patches that we make. Dustin cut the sleeves off of his and made it even cooler. But yeah, so that means now moving forward, we're going to try this out. Every golden ticket day, not only will you have by placing an order, not only will you have a chance at being a winner, but you'll get a free thing.
Yeah.
Everybody gets a free thing.
Yeah,
it's
so
like
we wanted
the Oprah of patches.
We wanted to make sure everybody got a little something.
That's awesome.
On the golden ticket day because, everybody tries to win the mug. Not everybody gets to win the mug, but everybody gets to win a awesome new Valentine's Day patch. So you will get that with that as well.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. What else we got?
Okay. Guess what we're doing again?
What?
Diner mugs.
Yeah, there they are.
They were such a hit last time. We're doing them again. These are not the exact mugs, but these are the basic designs here. I feel like a weatherman. Mm-hmm. You see over here it says, does it look like I
rise and shine?
Rise and shine.
There you go.
And maybe swearing will help. Yeah. See, I'm a weather guy. It says it over in this area.
Anyways, this is just a mock-up of the mugs. They're obviously going to look
and they will also have, on the other side, they'll have the Death Wish logo.
The logo, yeah.
Last time the mug was just one-sided, and one came with a logo, one came with a meme. But this one, they both have memes, and they'll both have logos on the other side. And that will be coming very soon. It'll be like, I don't know, if I were to throw some sort of a date out there, early February, get ready for it. These go pretty quick, too.
Yeah.
We're not getting a whole bunch. So if this is something you're interested in, once again, keep your ear to the ground, be part of the newsletter, listen to the D-Man Death Wish update. And, when this hits the ground, buy it because it's going to go.
I love the diner mugs we did last year because it's
same
really
company, too, so it'll be American made, by the way.
Excellent. It's really cool to collect the Deneen ones that we make, but, some of those that I keep in my cupboard, I don't even like to use because I'm afraid I'm going to chip them.
Right.
They're dishwasher safe, the Deneen mugs are, but I don't even put them in my dishwasher.
And they're sturdy, but you're rolling those dice every time you use that mug. The other day, I knocked a bottle of pasta sauce out of my hand that was glass, and it just made mess all over. I felt like an idiot. I was right in the middle of Price Chopper or Hannaford or something, and everybody looked at me like I'm the biggest asshole in the room.
That's
but
funny.
That could happen with your Deneen mug.
But these mugs are great. These are great everyday use mugs, perfect for your dishwasher. It's all printed right on there, so nothing's gonna chip or crack or come off there.
And like I said, it's American made. We could easily get like a Chinese distributor to cut the price in half for us and have about the same quality mug, but we work with an awesome company that makes a high quality American made mug, so these are nice and sturdy, and I'm excited to bring these out. Also, if you're part of the community, you probably voted on these memes to happen. In case you didn't know, the community will be shaping the future of our merchandise.
We want to hear more from you guys, and I think it's really cool that we have the opportunity, especially with stuff like this, where it's like we knew we wanted to do another diner set, and we knew we wanted to do it in the same vein, and because we love doing these. We love that you guys love our memes, but we love making our memes.
Yeah.
But then when we have to sit down in like a meeting and be like, well, what memes do we put on a mug? It's just like, well, I like all 50 of these.
Yeah.
Like, what do we do? How do we pick it? So we get you guys to pick it.
And we'll be doing this more often throughout the year. So if you're a part of the community, keep it heads up. It'll probably be Sierra reaching out and asking about like what you guys think of something. This will actually shape what we decide to do with our merchandise, which is really cool. If you're not a part of the community, it's the official
Death Wish Coffee Company community page on Facebook, and also the best way to be part of the community is join the newsletter.
Yeah.
Because we're going to start doing this in the newsletter too, so you'll get like specific newsletters specifically about these types of
And we
things.
did one thing recently about the shape of our future cold brew can.
Oh, right, yeah.
Where we're the short and stubby or the Red Bull type one.
Yeah.
And we take that data and go, okay, the fans want this. Let's see what we can do to get this. It won't happen every time. Sometimes you don't have a choice, but this will help us shape our choices. Is your opinions? So please.
On that note, I just want to say, because this is a question that we get asked almost every single week, and seeing as though you just brought it up, I'll say it again. With the Nitro Cold Brew, we are on track, working diligently on making that product better than it ever was, and we will be releasing it again this year. We have absolutely no date on that because it's still in the process of being created, canned, processed, and all that stuff, but you'll find it this year. Probably, let's say, late spring, early summer.
Yeah, and it'll be better than ever, and we'll be tightening all the screws and nuts and bolts, and I think you're going to be blown away by our product. We're really pulling no punches on this one, and we're just making sure we're doing it perfectly, so that's what's taking the time. But don't worry, we're working day and night on this.
Yeah.
And our
big
fearless
project.
leader, Mike Brown, will come to a conclusion, and we will have a cold brew in a can again.
For sure.
And last thing, guess what chocolate, Jeff?
Guess what chocolate? What chocolate?
So for Valentine's Day, we're coming out around Valentine's Day. We're coming out with a new chocolate, but you've seen this chocolate before. So which chocolate do you think it is? Which chocolate do you wish it was? Maybe the white chocolate with the Turkish grind on top. That was pretty good.
That's
Maybe
good.
the dark chocolate with cherries.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
That was a good one. Maybe
pretzel bark is so good.
Man. The
We
pretzel
just
bark
did
was
that,
good.
though,
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
probably not that one.
So we'll be bringing back chocolate, and we'll announce it on next week's show.
Okay. So yeah. So I mean, there you go. We're gonna give you that information next week. Well, I don't even know what it is. I really don't. I don't know what flavor of chocolate it is. So I can't wait for next week's show to find that out.
I'll tell you what. You'll find out tomorrow because it's being dropped off.
Yay! Chocolate Day. I love Chocolate Day.
Yeah, Chocolate Days. And always shout out to Bittersweet Candy Company and Heather over there.
Yeah.
And she always brings over some extra goodies for us. And that's actually how we ended up coming out with the pretzel bark, because she kept on bringing some by and we kept on eating it like mad people. And that's when we decided we had to release a pretzel bark ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's why you guys got that, because we loved it so much. So
Lots of good stuff on the horizon. And like we said, tune in next week and you'll get even more amazing news from Death Wish Coffee Company.
And that's the show.
That is the show, everybody. We're really excited that you stuck around with us. Had a lot of fun this time. Like I said, make sure you tune in tomorrow for our interview with Pat from Red Sun Rising. And last time, share this feed, share it in the comments. You can win your very own 2018 hammer, and D-Man and myself will sign the bottom, send it right out to you. We can't thank you enough for liking the show, sharing the show, telling your friends about it. We love doing it every single week, and we'll have more for you next week.
Yeah, keep on drinking your coffee. Keep on being over-caffeinated. Keep on raising hell.
Yes. Goodbye, everybody.
Cheers.
Goodbye.
This has been Fueled by Deathcast, a Death Wish Coffee Company podcast production. Thanks for listening.